Episode 3, you know what time it is. I want to show you how I turn this into this. We're back at it again. I hope you've been enjoying the series so far. This is episode 3. I think I already have the next 4 after this lined up. So I have a lot of stuff in store for y'all, and I hope y'all enjoy it. A bucket hat is pretty much 3 parts. Let me try to draw one real quick. Something like that, right? Boom. 3 parts. You have, well, 1 is the brim, the lid. 2 is the side panel, and the 3rd would be the top right here. And so the pieces themselves would look something like this. Your top part is something like this. Your side panel is just a rectangle. Your brim is this. We'll put 3, we'll put 2, and your brim is this quarter circle type shape, like this. And this side right here connects to this piece. And on this is basically saying like this circle. So this curve right here is this curve, This is the outer edge of the brim, which is this. And this part of the side panel is this, and then this top right here is what would connect to the top of the hat. So that's the basic idea. At the time when we were discussing this outfit, I hadn't made a bucket hat before. I only had a hat of his. So I was like, hey, let me borrow that baseball hat you have for like a day or 2, and then I can make the bucket hat off of that. Even though I hadn't made one before, I was just confident in my ability to, take the measurements from his hat and turn it into this. So when looking at the hat, the first thing I took notice of was just this circumference of the hat. Fortunately for me, he and I were the same hat size, so I was confident knowing that if it fit well on me, that it would fit well on him. So I took measurements of the circumference of his head, of the hat, which would basically be this measurement right here. I took note of the height of his baseball hat, which would be this measurement here. And when looking at the way this hat is shaped, this semicircular, well, this oval form, I took note of the horizontal and the vertical distance. And so I took a note of that here. Once I played around with those measurements, I was able to come up with these pattern pieces. These are the 3 pattern pieces I discussed earlier, right? You have your top, you have your side panel. This is half of it. This indicates that it's going to be on the fold. So if you place this on a folded sheet of paper, once you cut it out and unfold it, that will give you the entire length of the circumference of the head. So when it's all said and done, this side panel goes all the way around this hat. So this is the top, this is the side panel, and this is the brim. And this is that half circle type shape I was telling you about. And once again, this is indicating that you would place this on the fold. So when you cut the fabric, this side is on the folded edge. And then when you cut everything and unfold it, you'll have the full brim. And this is what attaches to the bottom of the bucket hat to give you that flared shape. The most, not even difficult, but the only thing that really requires a decent amount of math is just really constructing this top. I started from making a quarter of it. So I figured if I can make a quarter of it, then I can just mirror it this way, mirror it this way, mirror it this way, and that's how you get this whole top. So like I said, I worked on the measurements, did this one, and then once I was confident with this, I just flipped it here and traced it, flipped it there and traced it, flipped it there, and then you have the top. The measurements I took from his hat. If this whole measurement was 10 inches, then I know this is 5 inches from here to here. And if there to there was, let's just say 20 inches, then I know from here to here is 10. I also knew that because this entire circle represents the entire circumference of his head, and mine is like 24 inches, I knew that this distance from here needs to be a quarter of that because you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 24 divided by 4 is 6. So I knew, so if I know this has to be 5 inches, this has to be 10, and this has to be 6, it's just a matter of getting my ruler out and my tools and just making sure all these numbers match. And once I do that, we just mirror it, and then you have the top of the bucket hat. And that's pretty much it. After that, it's just a matter of putting it together. This is the fabric we decided to go with because he's an artist and he's working on a music video shoot. I wanted him to have something that's going to stand out and really go crazy in the light. So this is what we went with. It's a pretty open weave tweed, so I had to place a fabric behind it just to give it a little more structure. But this side, you can kind of see more of the grid detail, but we decided to go with this. When you're making the bucket hat of the shell fabric, you need one piece for the top, one piece for the side, one piece for the brim, but you also need a second one because you know how some people wear bucket hats, they flip it out on the inside, and so you need the shell fabric on the outside of the brim and the inside of the brim. But the inside can just be your lining. So the inside top piece and the inside side panels can be whatever lining fabric you choose to use. And that's pretty much it. This isn't a long video like the other ones. It's pretty straightforward. 3 pieces. It doesn't take long to make, but you do have to know a little bit of math and just get comfortable with constructing everything. But that's it. I hope you enjoy it. I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I hope you're able to get something out of it and some technical knowledge as well. I appreciate everybody, commenting, sharing, and just engaging with my ideas. And I'll see y'all next time.